said my temper is me trying to tell me something.
Ooh.
Oh, look what your fire did to the sand. It's glass.
Wow. His constant and consistent ability to hold space for her allows her to become even more vulnerable, and she's now able to accept an idea that he presented before, only that now she's vulnerable enough to understand its deep meaning. He never pressured her to understand or talk about it. He simply accepted she needed her space and time to process. And again, he doesn't even acknowledge his contribution. He's way too busy being fascinated by the vulnerable side she's showing him and how much he can recognize himself in that. And it's this type of silent appreciation that allows her to find the solution to her problem. The scene represents Ember understanding the power of vulnerability thanks to Wade constantly showing his.
I know how to seal those doors.
Look at that. And this is when he truly falls for her, because he can see beyond the fiery and volcanic layer she presents to the world. He can see why she's compatible with him. She's also capable of deeply feeling her emotions. And when she gives herself the freedom to feel them, it makes him feel safe enough to keep being himself around her, knowing she appreciates him as much as he does. You see, in a relationship, you need to be yourself 100% of the time, otherwise you'll slowly build your own cage.
Ember!
Hey!
I'm so excited to finally meet you.
Oh.
Do we hug or
No.
wave or
Wait.
don't want to put you out? Wade hadn't stopped talking about you since the day you met. The boy is smitten.
Mom!
Oh, come on, I'm your mother.
I need to embarrass you.
I just didn't know she'd be so smoky.
Oh God, lady, stop. Throughout the scene, you'll see him trying to navigate the very obvious differences that their worlds, and in this case, their families have. And this is called cultural dissonance, and it's surprisingly hard to navigate. Now, I'm Romanian, but I grew up in Italy for 10 years of my life, so I know a little bit about racism. And here I can already hear the "don't want to put you out," which I understand is intended to be polite and considerate, but it can also be interpreted as a subtle form of exclusion, or in my opinion, a reminder that you don't belong here and you can be eliminated at any time, even by mistake. Now, there are several green flags too, like the fact the mother already knew about Ember and the fact his family is so comfortable showing feelings, even if for Ember that is absolutely new and kind of weird to witness.
Die if you fall in water?
Yeah.
Marco, kids!
Don't hate us.
I'm finding it very hard right now.
That's Elsa Blake and her girlfriend Ghibli.
Sup?
Ghibli is in Ghibli studio?
So cool. My only talent is clean up on aisle 4.
Talk about being modest. Amber's got an incredible creative flame. I've never seen anything like it.
I just have to say that you speak so well and clear.
Yeah, it's amazing what talking in the same language your entire life can do.
Ayo. Speaking of Wade, he's attentive, protective, he praises her a lot in front of everyone, and he doesn't need Ember to ask for help. He simply assesses the situation and intervenes. Also, while his family uses fire references like "don't want to put you out" or "didn't know she was so smoky," he is the only one using a fire reference in a healthy way by saying creative flame. He's practicing code switching here, which is the practice of adjusting one's behavior and language to fit in with a different cultural environment. In this case, it's not an environment, but a person. While he knows that his family means well, he doesn't shy away from showing his disapproval. I mean, look at that face. He doesn't expect her to just be fine with the comments. He's absolutely comfortable allowing her to be independent and protect herself. But he makes it very clear he is on her side, and if needed, he'll jump right in. I'm also very happy the rest of the family doesn't look very pleased, and the mistake was recognized by the speaker almost immediately. You know, mistakes can happen in these types of interactions, so it's important to make sure we make space for them, while also taking accountability.
Hey, Ember, did Weedy here ever tell you that he's deathly afraid of sponges?
No.
I mean, if I would be water, I would probably be afraid of it too. Not gonna lie. Especially if something like this would happen to me. Like, come on, guys!
Still can't use a sponge around here.
I was stuck in there for hours.
It's traumatic!
Oh,
Alan, that was new.
my bad. I'm all whirlpool tonight.
I can fix it.
See, she goes into automatic mode. When you do something for so long and do it for so, so well, like, it's just second nature. Wow. That looks awesome. I want to buy it.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That was incredible!
It's just melted glass. Just melted glass. Every building in the new city is built from just melted glass. Oh no, you
Impostor
have to do
syndrome.
something with that talent.
This is a very important moment. It's the first moment Ember's talent is ever being recognized and appreciated to its true value. She realizes now that what she thought of just melted glass is actually required for the entire city to exist. Wade's family is not influenced by the same expectations, assumptions, or family dynamics as Ember's, which is why very often people outside of our family can recognize things in us that we never thought important or worth mentioning. And because they offer this fresh perspective, this is the first moment Ember challenged her imposter syndrome. You saw how she said sorry for creating something beautiful, right? Once talents are not recognized within the family, people may begin to doubt their own abilities, especially if they don't receive external validation. But as you see, when someone outside the family acknowledges their talent, it can challenge the self-doubt and help the individual see their true potential.
See? I told you you're special.
Wade. Oh, you saw that. It's so cute.
Ooh, thought bubble. Maybe after dinner we play the crying game?
Let me guess. You try to cry?
We try not to cry.
Well, that is a
Yeah,
challenge.
1979, November. You were.
He just knows you. He's not that good. His family is showing Ember that emotions are not scary. You can cry 1 minute, laugh the next. It's okay. Just make sure you're in a safe environment.
This is almost unfair because I have literally never cried.
Oh.
You got no chance.
Sounds like a challenge.
He's so positive.
Ready, go!
Butterfly. Windshield wipers. Half a butterfly.
Yeah, I've heard worse shit in my life to make me cry.
Almost out of time.
Never heard of. Almost out of time.
Ember,
Oh, do you see that?
when I met you, I thought I was drowning. But that light inside you has made me feel so alive. And all I want now is to be near it. Near you.
And this moment right here is when he switches from trying to make her cry to trying to actually connect to her. He realizes that his family feels free to cry because they have already a shared emotional space. They cry together, they know how it's done, and it is easy to be vulnerable. But Ember doesn't have that experience. Chances are she's never seen people crying together. She herself never cried before. So it's like when you try baking a pie for the first time. It's much easier having someone there showing you how it's done. And this is what Wade is building here, a shared emotional space. Wade practices something called emotional mirroring. By showing his own emotions, he creates a safe space where he's effectively saying, hey, it's okay to feel and express emotions here. I'm doing it too. By revealing how deeply he cares and how much Ember has impacted him, Wade provides a model for how to engage with and express emotions safely and authentically. And as a result, Ember is able to access that side of herself for the first time in her life. That's a big deal.
Together.
Now, Wade is able to pour his soul out like that, not only because it's part of his personality, but because Ember has showed him that she's able to make space for his feelings and his big personality. What they're teaching us here is a big lesson in healthy relationships. There are no rules and roles, okay? He can be highly emotional while she can be very little, which very much goes against the traditional narrative. So when we eliminate the bullshit of gender roles, what remains is that people are different. They experience things differently, have seen different things, have different experiences, etc. What truly matters is how willing is each party to learn from each other and about each other. Wade never asked her to be less fiery or less impulsive, in the same way Ember never asked him to be less emotional and more stoic. As I said, their main focus is to learn from each other and understand each other. So Wade is learning how to control his emotions better, while Ember is learning how to become more vulnerable. Both skills are needed on a personal level, but also in a couple dynamic. A trick many couples fall for is the complementing each other. As in, I'm more emotional and my partner is more stoic, we complement each other. Unfortunately, very often that means we speak different languages and that causes repetitive arguments. The point is not for one to give in and learn to speak the other's language. The point is for each person to focus on learning the other's language. That way, everyone is busy. That means more asking questions and less explaining. Oh, wow. Her being away from him.